Sinners came out and quickly shot up to one of the best reviewed movies of the year so far, but it has one of the worst climaxes I've ever seen in a movie. Let's talk about it. Obviously, I'm jumping into spoiler territory because I'm going to be talking about what's wrong with the end of the movie. So get the fuck out of here if you don't want to hear spoilers. This is the crazy part, right? You go in and 90% of the movie from beginning to the climax, the movie's solid. You know what I mean? It's passionate, it's engaging, it's entertaining. It keeps you interested. But what the fuck was that ending, bro? So broadly, here are some of the issues I have with the ending. Okay, there's an inconsistent character count right before the vampires bust in. They have the garlic scene. There's in my mind, watching that scene, there's only 6 people in the barn, but there happens to be like other characters lurking in the dark somewhere who don't have to eat the garlic for some reason. Okay, then you have the cliche horror tropes for the entire battle scene. It's bad. It's to the point where, like, if you've seen any type of like Dawn of the Dead, or if you've seen any type of movie like that where they're getting overrun by a horde or something like that and everybody has to run and one character has to make a sacrifice for the rest of the characters. If you've seen any movie like that, then you've seen the end of Sinners, basically. Like but it's a bad version of it. Like, there are things that just don't make sense. There's points during the battle where the vampires are overwhelming the main characters, and one of the characters dies, but they sit there and have the cliche emotional scene where they hold them in their arms and then they're dying. You know what I'm saying? But the rest of the vampires just forget that they're there or something like that because they don't attack after that. It's really fucking bad. Like, the vampires are inconsistent in the way that they think. In some scenes, they're independent thinkers, and in other scenes, they're being maybe controlled by the main villain. That kind of ticked me off. The vampire inconsistencies. There was no thought put behind. There was no concrete structure. The other, I don't know, you can't really call it cliche, but it's predictable that the twin let the other twin live, and that ends up being like the after credit scene, like, oh, surprise, he's still alive. Come on, bro. I like my shootout scenes to be more realistic than not. So in the end, when they have Smoke, they have him one-man army the mafia or whoever it was that came to the barn, the racist dudes, the white dudes that came to the barn, and he has the shootout. At first, he's in the bushes and they can't tell where he is, so he can take out a couple dudes, but then he walks out and literally walks in a straight line towards this army they're all firing at him at the same time, and he somehow only gets shot once. I hate that most of the information around the final battle scene with the vampires when they come in the barn is just not coherent enough. First of all, we had no idea who these 2 extra motherfuckers were that got jumped when the vampires first burst in the bar. Me and the homies looked at each other and was like, who the fuck are these random people? They were not there during the garlic scene. They just happened to be there so that the main characters can have time, I guess. I don't fucking know, but that shit was ass. I did not know what happened to the Asian chick. She went and killed like one vampire immediately. They fell to the ground and they lit on fire. I couldn't tell who she killed. It was just weird because she targeted one specific vampire who I think was her husband. I'm not even sure. Sat there, got lit on fire, and then did nothing about it. She just like, here, I'm dying right here. I'm on fire. I'm just dying. Even though my daughter could potentially still be alive, which was her whole reason for letting them in the first place, was to save her daughter. It was to try to kill all of the vampires, which is like, there's an army out there, but you got to save your daughter. So you're going to kill all of them, right? But you end up only killing one. And then you're sitting there on fire and you have no self-preservation whatsoever. You just let yourself catch on fire and die. Like, it was like, what the fuck did she even let him in for? Just to have the battle scene? The logic behind it was she needs to go and save her daughter, but then she dies immediately. So what the fuck? Okay, here, this is the problem, bro. Here's the problem, bro. Look at this shit. in the garlic eating scene, they only showed these 6 motherfuckers. This is Delroy Lindo right here, even though he damn near in complete shadow, right? You got the Asian chick, you got the guitar nigga, you got Michael B. Jordan, you got his wife, and you got the guitar nigga girlfriend. Can't remember they fucking names right now, but who the fuck is this random motherfucker? They literally only showed and there's somebody over here in complete darkness. We have no idea who the fuck that is. Oh my God. This is right when the vampires are about to bust in. But before this, we have the garlic eating scene where literally only the main characters ate the garlic. Only these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 motherfuckers ate the garlic. So where the fuck were these extra motherfuckers at when they were doing that shit? And then they want to show us here in this like 2-second wide shot before the vampires bust in that this motherfucker right here, whoever the fuck he is, and this motherfucker out here, whoever the fuck he is, got jumped by the vampires when they busted in the door. We never even, these motherfuckers have no fucking lines of dialogue or nothing. We have no idea who, especially this motherfucker. He's in complete darkness. When the vampires bust in and they jump on the fucking these 2 motherfuckers, me and the homies were sitting there in the movie theater like, who the fuck are these people? Why didn't they have to eat the garlic? These 2 extra motherfuckers weren't in a garlic scene, but they sitting here when the barn is getting taken. There's 8 motherfuckers here, and there's like fucking 30 vampires outside or some shit. Everybody that was at the party got ate up. They're all vampires now. And they all bust in the fucking barn at the same fucking time. I mean, they don't. They walk in like one at a time to give the main characters enough time to kill each of them or whatever the fuck. It's crazy because they should have been overrun in the first couple of seconds that they let the vampires in, just point blank. They all should have died immediately. But not only do they not do that, you have time to give us an emotional scene between these 2 motherfuckers, which happens literally like right here on the ground, right? It happens literally like right here. There's nothing blocking there's nothing blocking the other zombies from coming in there and just killing them immediately. Just this motherfucker shooting this slow ass fucking lever action. This chick, she should have died. I mean, they all should have died immediately. Then, so we have the time manipulation in the big battle scene. All the vampires are just standing outside, not attacking, or only coming in one at a time, so they can die and give the other characters more time to have emotional scenes where one of them is dying or whatever the fuck. Delroy Lindo, at some point during the battle, they have this the moment, the cliche moment during the big battle where we're getting overrun. We need to retreat and go upstairs, right? So all this group of fucking, now there's only she died. It's just 1, 2, 3, 4 motherfucker Delroy Lindo left. They're all backing up and they're going upstairs. All the other vampires are fighting each other or something. Like they're just twiddling their thumbs while the other characters just run away or walk away or whatever the fuck. So Delroy Lindo decides, I'm going to sacrifice myself so that to give the other characters time to walk away. But this brings up another issue. The vampires are brain dead when they need to be, but they can speak and be themselves in other scenes when they need to be. There's a whole fucking point in the movie where they're sitting outside, they're not letting them in, but the Asian girl, her wife is talking to her, the other twin Michael B. Jordan is talking to him, and they're having a whole ass conversation as if they have their own consciousness. They're just vampires, which doesn't make sense, because why the fuck would they want to kill their family members if they have their own conscience? Like, they're not being controlled by the head vampire, and we know this because at the end of the movie, the other Michael B. Jordan and his bitch get away. Like, they just run away. Like, he let his twin live, and he ran away with his girl so they could live, while the other morons sat in the sun and died for no reason. Like, so Delroy Lindo sacrifices himself, and they all jump on him because he slit his wrist or something, and they couldn't take how much blood there was, so they all jumped on him, and that gave these other motherfuckers enough time to run upstairs and regroup. But then they get meet upstairs by other vampires, right? But none of the other 30, 40 vampires go upstairs. It's just Michael B. Jordan, the twin, and probably like 1 or 2 other random vampires so they can kill her, right? Then they turn her into a vampire. And then the This motherfucker, they gave him enough time to run outside, right? Basically, these two sacrificed themselves so he can run outside. And then he still got caught by the main vampire. So this motherfucker runs out to the water, whatever the fuck. Michael B. Jordan's sitting there with his twin. He somehow gains advantage over his vampire twin, which is like, if you a vampire, don't you have like more strength? Like you have more strength than the average human being. I'm not sure how the fuck they decided hey, we're gonna kill the vampires, but I guess only the lead vampire had any like superpowers or something, because the rest of them, when they bust in, they're basically just like regular motherfuckers. Like they over here fucking power bombing fucking vampires and shit and stabbing them with the fucking wood stakes and shit like they're regular ass humans. But anyway, that's another issue. You don't see him, but he let his twin live. All in the meantime, this motherfucker out there with the lead vampire in the water, about to get killed, and the rest of the vampires are sitting on the like right outside the water, doing some weird ass dance or some praise or I don't know what the fuck. For what? I have no idea, because the sun was about to come up and they were just sitting there like waiting for him to kill him. Like, I don't know why he was the prize. He killed him, then he would have got like power from the devil or some shit. I don't know what the fuck. But then you have that cliche villain monologue right before he's about to kill, you know, his last kill. Oh, now I'm about to pray and do some weird ass prayers. So to give this motherfucker enough time to teleport. Nigga, literally, these motherfuckers are out in the water away from the barn. This motherfucker is in the barn letting his twin live. Then all of a sudden, while the villain is out there giving his monologue, of course, giving him enough time to teleport through all of the zombies. I say zombies because that's basically what they were, but through all of the vampires into the water behind the main villain with a fucking stake to kill the main villain. What the fuck are we talking about? How the fuck did he get there? This motherfucker literally had, he has superpower. He had to have teleported. The other vampires didn't see him. He didn't make any noise going through the water. He just teleported there right in this motherfucker's moment of need to save his ass. Of course, while the villain is giving his monologue that he could have just killed this motherfucker, went back, killed this motherfucker, and his whole fucking mission would have been complete, which I'm not even sure what his mission was, because they're controlled by him but not controlled by him. The whole vampire aesthetic is the whole lore behind the vampire shit is just not finished. Like, it just doesn't make sense. At one point they're mind controlled. That's why they want to go in the cabin and eat everybody, right? That's why they want to get in there, right? But then he just let his twin live. His twin didn't want to kill him, or he did. He killed his wife, but he didn't want to kill him because he let him live, because he had all the advantage, like he had all the power. Like, what? I see, like they tried to do some, like, it just devolves into this fucking cliche horror film trash. Like, they weren't sure what they wanted to do with the lore behind the zombies. The vampires. They weren't sure what they wanted to do with the other twin. They weren't sure what they wanted to do with anything when it comes to this fucking climax. It was just ridiculous. Like, they just a lot of shit that just doesn't make sense. A lot of shit that was just like, I don't know if it's reshoots or oversight or fucking, I don't know what the fuck, but you can't look at this at the final cut of this shit and be like, oh yeah, that's the ending we were going for. Like, the whole beginning of the whole other 90% of the movie is so deep and intricate, and it sets up in a way that you think the ending is gonna have like some kind of message or be so much deeper than what it turns out to be. It's just like, it feels like they just threw the vampires in there to make it different, not just an appreciation for and a culmination of different cultures through music, which is the best part of the movie, that scene where they all dancing and shit, and they have the mixing of all the different cultures and time periods and shit. And then let's make it different for the sake of being different. But there wasn't a lot of thought put behind that. That's what I feel like. It's just so disappointing, because it's like, damn, you're watching the rest of the movie and like, damn, this shit is good. Like, what is it leading up to? And then you get to the ending and it's like, y'all just had all this set up just to fall back into this lesser version of a horror film that we've seen thousands of times. where they hit all the cliche points. This is the point of the black. If this is the point where they're all overrun and somebody needs to sacrifice themselves to save the rest of the group. This is the point where this character dies, and they have to sit there in each other's arms as he, no, don't, I won't let you turn, and he'll and kill it. This is the cliche point where these two characters that you don't want to die end up not dying because one of them has the advantage over the other one, and then he decides to let him go instead of killing him. But there's no it's just it's disappointing, man, because they put all this fucking hype behind the movie. 10 out of 10. Go watch 10 out of 10. Fucking 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Even other I watch other YouTube reviewers fucking review the movie. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10. Go see the fucking movie. It's excellent. Nobody mentions how garbage this fucking ending is. It's crazy. That shit it brings down the rest of the movie so much. Like the rest of the movie has so much going for it, and it feels like it's setting up for something way bigger than what it actually does.